Alright, next is Bloodcraft. So, let's start with Yuzuki, Righteous Demon, 7 play point 4/4. Accelerate 2, destroy an enemy follower with 4 defense or less, deal 2 damage to your leader. Fanfare, destroy 2 enemy followers. If Vengeance is non active for you, give your leader the following effect. At the start of your next turn, recover 2 lost play points. This card is pretty good. I don't know if Calamity Bringer is rotating out. I actually don't remember when Calamity Bringer existed. No, he's gonna still be in rotation. He rotates out, I think, Omen of 10. So, this will probably be the replacement of Calamity Bringer once Omen of 10 rotates out. But even without that, he's pretty good. He has the Accelerate, which is essentially a 4 damage removal, which is really good. And then you get to destroy 2 enemy followers later on. If Vengeance is active, and you can still do it without Vengeance, but you take a hefty penalty of 2 less play points. Depends on what you want to do on turn 8 in this case. Turn 8 you would have 6 play points if you didn't have Vengeance. But if you splash this into Vengeance, you'll probably have it. And it does have the early Accelerate, so it's not a dead card, similar to Calamity Bringer. It's a good card. It's tough to say if it's going to see play or not, though. It will definitely see play once Calamity Bringer goes out, but as of now, I don't know. I would use it just for the artwork, though. I mean, this card's much cooler looking than Calamity Bringer. Cradle of Dark Divinity, 7 play point for 5. Fanfare, restore 3 defense to your leader. If an allied tree is in play, gain the ability to evolve for 0 play points. Evolve, give your leader the following effects. At the end of your turn, if you have at least 8 cards in your hand, randomly discard until you have 7, then deal X damage to the enemy leader. X equals 2 times the cards discarded. At the start of your turn, draw 1 card. This is a pretty decent card. It's you get the 3 defense recovery on turn 7. If you're playing this in the tree archetype, you'll probably have a tree out already, so you get a free evolve. Then you essentially get 1 extra card every turn. And if you do have extra cards, instead of milling yourself out, you'll actually discard down and deal damage to the enemy leader, so either 2 or 4 damage, which is pretty good. The only bad thing is you randomly discard, so you don't exactly know what you are going to get rid of, so you might get rid of another alternate win condition that you need, or another card that's important to keep in your hand just in case of a bad situation. I understand why it's random, which is just because of how Shadowverse is designed. It needs to be random, but it does kind of hurt it. Otherwise, though, it's a free evolve for Evolve Blood. Actually, now that I think about it, Evolve Blood will probably run this card if you do an Evolve tree mix. Because you get the free heal, free evolve, you get to draw cards so you can get to your Zeus quicker if you don't have Zeus. Might see play. Probably will in a tree deck. It's tough to say if this card's going to be good or not. It's unlike the other crafts, this one's kind of a might be good. Maybe. We'll see. Sharanzaya. I don't know how to pronounce that. Masked Mayhem, 5 play point 4/5. Bane, Fanfare, if at least 2 cards were added to your hand from your deck this turn, give this follower Storm. So, keep in mind that drawing 2 cards means that your initial draw counts as drawing a card. So you only need to draw 1 extra card. You'll see there's a silver, I think, or it might be a gold. I think it's a silver. That lets you draw a card, so you could potentially get this turn 5. But Honestly, like, it's not hard to get Vengeance by turn 5, and Milnard exists. So, Milnard's never seen play, so I don't know if this card will see play. Potentially get the Bane removal. It's an okay card. I don't know if it really fits. I mean, with this legendary, you'll draw 2 cards every turn. So turn 8, you could drop this and guarantee have its effect without having to draw any other cards. So it might see play for that fact. It could be a finisher. And then if this deck is more, it seems to be more of a draw type archetype, you wouldn't probably be doing much Vengeance stuff anyway. So it might fit better than Milnard, because Milnard is kind of a weak Vengeance card, while this is a strong card for the archetype. So this might see play. This one's a tough one to argue, though, honestly. It's like, it seems like it should be good. It's a 5 play point 4/5 with Storm, assuming you draw your cards correctly. And it has Bane as an extra upside. But we'll see. We'll have to see more. It'll be something that has to be play tested. It's kind of hard to calculate whether this will be good or not. Night Prowl Vampire, 6 play point 5/6. Crystallize. Okay, this is the card I was thinking of. Crystallize 1, countdown 1. Last words. If it is your turn, put a random Natura card from your deck in your hand. If it is your opponent's turn, draw a card. Fanfare, deal 2 damage to an enemy follower. If an allied Natura Great Tree is in play, deal 2 damage to all enemy followers instead. Crystallize card effect is really good. It's essentially a cycle card. So you can cycle this card for 1 play point to get any Natura card you want. It can't really stop you because you'll draw a card regardless. Maybe they can kind of upset you getting a Natura card, but I don't know why anybody would use an amulet removal on this amulet specifically. I feel like you'd want to save it. But then again, this archetype doesn't really have any amulets, so it kind of just stops them from destroying your only amulet. I don't really know why they made it different like that. I guess some form of counterplay. I don't know. But the Fanfare might see play. Definitely not if you don't have a tree out. If you don't have a tree out, you're not playing the Fanfare. That is absolutely horrible. But the AoE clear is pretty good. It's kind of standard, sort of like Dragoncraft's Phoenix card. But at the same time, if you're being aggressed down by something, I feel like turn 6 is maybe a little too late for an AoE removal. Definitely for Forestcraft, because from Forestcraft it seems like they're going to be trying to kill you early on. And then, well, other decks like Shadowcraft want their cards to die. And then, I don't know. I don't know why you'd play this card, honestly, for the Fanfare, the body. But you'll definitely play it for the Crystallize effect. So I think this card will be played just for the Crystallize, but definitely not for the body. The body might come useful in niche cases. We'll see. But the Crystallize is definitely really good. It's a cycle. You guarantee a Natura card. Yuna, Vampire Seeker, 4 play point 4/4. Fanfare, draw cards until there are 5 cards in your hand. Well, it's a really good stat line. But I think it's pack filler for the most part. In an aggro deck, maybe? Like a very low aggro deck, you can just kind of refuel extremely quickly. So maybe like in aggro and a limited, this would be played. But I don't know if you'd exactly play this in any other deck. Blood is kind of in a situation now where they have a lot of draw cards. And you never really... both Vengeance, Evolve, and Machina, they have 3 really good archetypes. You never see them with really a low hand. Not low enough to pay a hefty 4 cost. So, if aggro ever becomes a thing in the future, in rotation, maybe this will see play. This might see play in Unlimited too, but really it'd be more of a refueler, and really in Unlimited I feel like you're killing them around this turn anyway. I don't know. I don't really like the card. I don't think it's going to see play. Frenzied Werewolf, 3 play point 3/2, rush. If a tree's in play, gain Bane. It's pretty basic. It's good. I mean, it's rush Bane. Can't complain. I don't know, though. It doesn't really fit. It's just good removal, and that's about it. Honestly, compared to a lot of the other tree support we've seen, this is kind of weak. Well, I don't know. As you can tell, I'm not really a fan of any of these silvers. They're just all kind of whatever. I'm not counting the silver for the Aether because all the Aether cards are good, but these two silvers kind of don't really impress me. Lunatic Aether. Put a great tree in your hand, recover a play point. 10th turn or later, deal 3 damage to the enemy leader and restore 3 defense to your leader. It is a turn 10 free 3 damage, free 3 HP recovery. I think this card is probably the best Aether based on what I've seen. I haven't actually seen them all yet, but this is a really good Aether. Turn 10, you can get that little extra removal for free, heal up a bit for free, and then do whatever you want to do. It's really good. We'll see. And actually, I just thought about, too, Yuna's even worse for the fact that trees are cycling themselves and give you more cards. So this even becomes worse for the tree archetype. So really, that card is just really bad. That's pack filler. Alright. La Rage, 2 play point 1/2, draw a card. It just draw a card, so you'll play it no matter what deck you're playing. It's auto-include. Yeah, that's all there is to say about it. It's just draw a card. Ogre Champion, 3 play point 3/3. Fanfare, if at least 2 cards are added to your deck this from hand added to your hand from your deck this turn, deal 3 damage to an enemy follower. And hand 6, gain +3/+3. It kind of sucks that the draw archetype is already dead with this card, because really, it is overstated, and it is 3 damage removal. Might be good, but it feels kind of weak. It's just vanilla in the sense after you do the 3 damage, and really the enhance is kind of hefty. It doesn't really gain towards any win condition. It's too slow compared to what we've seen in some of the other crafts. Other crafts are going to be killing you by the time you just play this and plop it down. I don't think this card will see play. It's too slow for what it does and doesn't really do much beforehand. And essentially in most cases, early game mostly, it's just going to be a vanilla 3/3. It's not really that good. It's not going to see play. Corrupted Bat, 2 play point 2/2. Fanfare, put an Etruria Great Tree into your hand. If Vengeance is active for you, gain +1 and ward. Well, you get a tree. Vengeance is active for you. I don't know if you'd play this in Vengeance. It's a 3/2 with ward. But you already have, what are they called? You already got Owl Cat with the, Do Blame. And that gives you the ward you need. Hellblaze Demon gives you the ward you need. I don't think you really need a ward for this. This doesn't really seem to do much for the Great Tree archetype. I don't know. It's kind of weak. Like, you might play it if you need the trees, but really, I don't know. Well, we'll see. And then the last Bloodcraft card is Deal with the Devil. 2 play point spell, deal 5 damage to a random allied follower and a random enemy follower. And then both players draw a card. I think this is good. You just remove something really early on. You can remove an opponent's Urius with this. And then you can draw a card. It's good, I think. It cycles itself. You do help your opponent, but it does work with Cradle of Dark Divinity. The only downside is your opponent is drawing a card, and you really can't use it if you have a board unless you go face with what you already have or you already traded it. Yeah, it seems pretty decent. I think it'll be played. All right, so overall, I think Blood is probably the weakest this expansion. They don't really seem to know what they want to do. The Great Tree archetype doesn't really seem to exist. The only thing that really the Great Tree gives you is the free evolve and the draw power. And I think that's really the theme of Blood is just drawing cards and then getting so many cards that you're doing 4 damage each turn, which is easy to do because you can just self-cycle with like Deal with the Devil and La Rage and other cards. You can just kind of cycle them. And then the Great Trees, of course, cycle themselves. But overall, I don't think this is going to be... I think it's too slow. Because Cradle Dark Divinity comes down turn 7, and then you'll finally really start getting your game plan off in turn 8. But you don't really have a way to control yourself to turn 8. And so other decks will just kind of eat you up at that point. I think they're going to definitely be the weakest in terms of what's added. Warranted, I don't think Blood is going to become bad. Vengeance Evolve is really good. Machina is really good. I don't think those archetypes are going to die off. Definitely not Evolve. Urius can help keep you alive. Urius is just a busted card in general. So I think Blood will still be playable next expansion. It's just their new cards are probably not really going to see play. It might be like one of those people are going to try them out first week, but then none of these cards will be played afterwards, except maybe Aether. Or Deal with the Devil. I don't think Aether will be played because you don't do anything early on with it. Unless you're playing the tree deck. So maybe in the non-tree deck, the only card that would actually be played is Deal with the Devil. So I think these guys are pretty weak. But so I kind of feel bad for Blood players in the sense that they're not going to really have many new toys to play with this expansion. At least nothing that's usable. Maybe in the mini expansion they'll get something that really makes this usable. But for now, I think they're just going to have to stick to their old ways and play Machina and Evolve Blood. Cradle might fit in like an Evolve Natra hybrid. Maybe. We'll see. Maybe I'll be wrong about it. But I don't think Blood will survive in terms of their new cards.